Here we are again, and we're back with HU66 as usual. Seems to be a favourite lock on this channel by the looks of it. So obviously previously I've picked HU66s with the list you picks plenty of times. They're nice and easy. I've picked this lock before in a previous video, but what I want to show today is a HU66 Smart decoder from WENDT. I've just got this the other day all the way from Germany. I'll say really good company to deal with. Literally next day delivery as well. Now, what's my reasoning for purchasing one of these when the list you pick does it perfectly fine? Well, if you get one of these and they've not used the manual key in it for, well, since the car was made, excuse me, they do gum up, and they do pack these locks with a lot of grease from the factory. Over the last month or two, I've had quite a few HU66 locks where the wafers have been effectively stuck and seized. And if you go in straight away with a pick, the list you pick, you just don't get any feel. Some of the wafers are stuck in an overset position, some are seized. It can take you forever to do it. So what I normally do is plenty of lubrication into the lock, and then I've just got a little bunch of keys that I use for various locks. This isn't the key for this lock, and then all I'll do is stick it in and we'll rake it a good few times. That usually frees up most of the locks, the wafers, sorry. However, the only problem I have found is it never seems to get number 8 with the key. It can be stuck. Obviously they're all free moving in this lock, so I don't have a seized lock on me, but if I was to overset that and then go to pick it, there's nothing there. It's completely dead. Now obviously there's nothing on the other side, because obviously that's not for number 8, that's obviously for over there. So what you'd normally have to do is you'd have to jiggle the lock while bouncing on it. Sometimes it can take 10 minutes, which at the side of the road in the gale force winds and the rain, it's not fun. So we do away with that and introduce this fella. Now I've already used this a couple of times and it's made it so much easier to free a lock up. So the indexes in the body, you see the little indexing pin there. Slide it all the way forward. That centralizes the picking tip, and then you can slide it in without causing any damage. Now if we simulate the same thing again, overset it, it's still dead. However, you can just go straight up. See if we can get this camera to actually focus properly. Doesn't want to. That's a bit better. You can then pick it up. So as you can see now, we picked it, if I overset it, you can hear it clicking it back into position. So if you had a wafer that was not returning to a springy format, should we say, you could literally just do this. If for instance the spring is deformed or snapped and it's not being springy at all, you do have the option of, if you can get all the others set and your remaining wafer, it can be any one with a damaged spring, if any of those are damaged and you know you've only got maybe that one left to pick, then you can pick it down. If you think you've gone too far, you can then pick it back up. So you can move that wafer for the full length manually without relying on it being, you know, springy for your feel as well. We'll just have a go at picking this lock here now. So first thing I normally do is, obviously, after I always lubricate the locks up anyway, first thing I do is I check to make sure they are all springy. If you've got any that aren't springy, then you know it's probably stuck in the overset position, especially if it goes all the way down and there's nothing there. If it's obviously you hit it and it's solid and you're not tightening it, putting any tension on the lock, then it's probably just seized up. Usually that's the reason why we use the key, because you can get the key in and you can get some good force on it. Just move my chair. But like I said, the key, because obviously it stops at number 8, a lot of the time it doesn't, you can't get the key, the key to move the wafer up and down like you can with the rest. So this is why I've gone and purchased this from WENDT. Obviously it's beautifully made, it's solid. It feels nicer than the Lishy picks, to be honest, but you do pay a bit more for the price for the pick. But to make it life so much easier at the side of the road, to make sure that all these wafers are free and moving before you pick the lock. And there's only one lever to maneuver as well. So let's just go about picking it. There you go. So not very difficult to pick. I'd probably say it's a little bit easier than the Lishy pick, but for my main purpose is to be able to physically make sure that all the wafers are free, and you can use this to move them the full length of the travel. So to get it out, make sure you're in one of the nipples, a little stop, and it just slides out. So you can see how you can just move each wafer individually for the full travel. Now obviously the good thing about this one as well is you got the gauge on the back, so depending on how you position yourself for picking a lock, you can still see everything you're doing, which is absolutely brilliant. You know, it's got to be, in my opinion, this is the best HU66 I've tried. I've tried all the you know, the magic ones where you just stick them in and you jiggle them. Again, their main problem is if you've got a stuck wafer, they're not going to work. And unless you've got a pick that can go in and check the movement of every single wafer, you're not going to know whether or not you've got a, you know, a stuck wafer. That's why I don't like the you know, the magic ones. It's another reason why I didn't like the VAG jiggler keys from Multipick. You know, you're just relying on hope that everything in the lock is working perfectly. But lately I've had so many HU66 where they're not. They're gummed up, they're jammed up, they're seized up. I've had one broken spring. So hence the reason why I went out and purchased this. And I can't complain. I mean, it is a bit more expensive than the Lishy pick. The Lishy pick is still a really good pick. You know, you cannot go wrong with them. But main reason for this again is just because I've been having a lot of number 8s lately that have been stuck, and it's took me like 5-10 minutes lubrication, sticking this in, jiggling it up and down, working the keys out. Whereas the first time I come across a stuck number 8, it was just literally lubricate it, use the key beforehand anyway, and then just go through, check them, and again, number 8 was stuck in the overset position. Popped it down, moved it up and down for about 10 or 8, 10 times or something like that, and it was fine. And then I just pick the lock just as quick as you've seen. So I really do highly recommend these. If your job entails you to pick a lot of locks, or you're a locksmith, then this is the daddy, should we say. I don't think you're going to find anything better for a professional locksmith, to be honest. They are just absolutely brilliant and amazing. So there we go. That's my little review of the WENDT Smart decoder, if I've pronounced WENDT right. But yeah, absolutely cracking lock pick. It's now my new favourite type of pick. Might have to purchase a few more for different locks when the funds allow, but in the meantime, the HU66 works wonders on all the other locks that I've got as well. And there we go. It's my little review on the WENDT HU66 Smart decoder. Thank you very much.